In this video, we will see how to manage the compositing to add some effects into our render. So what I will do, I will just make a render with cycles of this. So I just make F12 just like that to have a nice render. Maybe I will take this kind of orientation. Let's say something like that. Yeah, like this it's good. So I will just have this render like this. Maybe 512 might be enough. It seems okay for what I have now. Okay, perfect. So what I will do, I will add some effects. It's a post-processing effect, so it means it doesn't affect the rendering options here. It's just like little effects. If you know a little Photoshop, for example, you have some FX that you can add like that. It's non-destructive. It's just something that you add to your image. So now we will go into the compositing here workspace, and we will just manage a few things. We will disable the backdrops. We will enable the use nodes. We will go there into the image editor, and we will go into the viewer node here. Like this, we can see here, we didn't use too much nodes here, but I will show you how it works. So here you have to read this from the left here to the right. So here it's the basic rendering here that we have, and we will add some nodes to have the final effect there. For this, we will have to use here into our preferences. In the beginning we did enable it, but just to be sure, just go to Node Wrangler and enable this add-on, because it gives you the possibility by use Ctrl-Shift-Click on your render to have the viewer here, and the viewer will appear there. Okay, so you can see the result of what you will do on top here. Now that you have this, you can play with the different settings. So I will show you what kind of node I will add. We will add here, for example, here the color into the color nodes, just to manage the colors. So I have two ways that I like here. It's the first one is the RGB curve, okay, and you click and drag it like that. So with Shift A you go to color RGB curve, and you will have this. You can go here to add some node. You have the same possibilities, and you just click and drag it into the link, and it will go into the center just like that. Okay, so here we can play with the basic curve, the basic color curve, and manage, for example, more light or something more contrasty, depending on what you want. If you want to enable or disable a node just like that, you use the M option. M will mute the node, and M will enable the node. Okay, let's say, for example, it's just an example, it's just a possibility. You would like to have something a little brighter like this, and you would like to have maybe less red into your image. So you have the red, the green, and blue values here. So less red, you go there and you do something like this. So it has to be really a little there, because the colors are already good, but you can play with that if you need to add some post-processing effects. So I will disable this with M, it was just to show you the result with that. And you can add another one that can be interesting as well, is the hue saturation value. Okay, so the hue saturation value plays with the saturation here. So you can play with black and white, come back with more saturation, less saturation, depending on what you need. Okay, so it can be useful for some cases. And you can play with the value here to add more light, okay, let's say, to your render, or less light to your render, just like so. Okay, and then the hue will go to, let's take this to show you how it works, the hue. So if I take an object there, okay, and go to his materials, you can see you have the color sphere here that shows all the colors, and it makes a kind of circular here option like that if you play with the hue, it will turn around here the circle like this. Okay, so I may Control Z to come back like before. So it's exactly the same here. Like for example, if you play with the hue, it will change the entire colors of the image, just like so, but takes the basic image in the beginning and change the hue. Okay, so here I just come back to 0.5 for that one. Okay, so these two nodes can be interesting for managing colors, but we would like more effects into our image, especially one that is interesting for jewelry is adding little post effect, reflections, flares. So what we will do here, we will add some into filter, we will go into glare here. Okay, so I click and drag it here. I will hide that one again with M. Okay, and for this one here, we can see that we have, whoa, a lot of effects that are coming, so it's far too strong. The first thing that we have to see it here, you have the ghosts, so it makes this kind of effects that you can see sometimes in photography when you watch a direct light. So you have the fog glow, so it will put the same thing that we had when we did use EV. You have the fog glow here. So when you use EV, remember that you have the bloom, and it makes something very similar actually. I come back to cycles here, and here we have the possibility to use streaks. So this is the by default one, and the simple star as well. So we will use here the streaks just to see a little the most options that we can. Or maybe first we will use ghost, and after, no, not ghost, fog glow, and after we will add more effects on that. So here to manage the strength of it, you have the mix option. So if you put it like that, you have nothing. If you put it at 1, you have only the effect, so can be good for composite, more of this effect. But let's say we put it at 0 for now. Like this, we have both, and we can play with the threshold. So the threshold takes the white here, the white informations of the image, and make a blur inside. That's what's happening with the glare. So the threshold takes more value of white, less value of white, depending on what you put here. If you put 0.2, for example, it will take more. If you put 5, it will take less. So I recommend you to use for jewels like that, values near 30. Like this, you will have only a few of this of the space here, only what is really white in the image that will be affected, and that's what's happening in reality. So it's good, you can see here the little effect that it makes here, and play with the mix as well to not put it at 100%. So you can play with negative 0.5, I would say, and it will add a nice little effect on your object. Okay, so very interesting to work with that. Now we can add more glare, so we will duplicate this one, or maybe add another one with the default options. So I will make Shift A, go into filter, go into glare, and just click and drag that like this. Okay, so it will give a lot here again, a lot of things. The effect is far too much. You can play with the threshold again, So the threshold has to be near, I would say 40 this time, to not have that much, or even more, 60. Really see what's happening with the design and it will give you. So you have the fade here, okay, you can see the fade. So it gives you something with more bigger streaks, or so I like to play with the fade really little like that. I like to play with the mix as well to not have too much in the image, like negative 0.6 would be good, I would say, or even more, negative 0.8. Yeah, something like that. And you can see that now you have nice little reflections into your image. So you can play with these options here as well. You have the number of streaks. So by default it's 4. It means it makes a cross like that. But if you put 6, for example, you will have hexagonal shapes just like this. So it can be nice as well. Maybe the threshold is a little not enough. So we'll go to 80, I would say, and negative 0.9. Yeah, we want something a little, not that much, because yeah, we want something beautiful, but not with a lot of effect. Okay, you can play with the angle offset if you want, so it gives just a rotation of the streak, just like that. As you can see, if I increase that, it will make a rotation of it. Sometimes it can be useful, sometimes not, depending on what you want. And here the iteration here, it's let's say the quality of it. Here you have another kind of quality option. It's the medium, high and low. Usually I use medium, it's okay. When you use high, it will give more little streaks, but with more quality as well. So yeah, you can see it's very little here. But yeah, the quality will be better, but usually with medium it really makes the job easily like that, so it works well. I recommend you to use medium for that case. And now you have this little effect, so you can play, for example, with different colors before adding the glare, but for our case no. So I will just remove all the effects that we have here. So now I enable glare with M, okay? So we can see the effect happening here, and we will have the second glare here effect now with the streaks, okay? That gives another effect like that. So really depending of the mood that you want to achieve with the final render. Here in my case it was something just simple, just adding some little reflections effect like this, just little flares. You can play with all these effects for sure. When you finished here your compositing, you just take the last one and make a click and drag to the composite one. It means that every time you will make a new render, now you will have this effect here. So let's take our layout again, and let's change maybe the orientation, maybe here the animation, so and change the orientation of the design. Okay, we will have something like that, and make F12 again. So now I will make the render, so it will go until 512, and when it's finished it will make the compositing and make the effect into this image, as you can see. So for the composition that I made, the compositing that I made, it's okay for static images, not animations. For animations, I really recommend you to use threshold far higher, because it will make too much little lights, and it will disturb the view actually. So I will show you an example here. I will go there, show you that. Okay. Jewels. It's here. So, for example, just for to show you some results here. Okay, so for that one, so that one, for example, was too much here. As you can see, you have too much little glares everywhere, little streaks everywhere, and it disturbs the view. So I did decrease that by increase the threshold. I think I was over 150 here, and here I was near 80. So in the end, I have something like that, okay, with some streaks here and there, but not that much, okay? And as you can see, it's far better for the rendering here. I made the same option here, for example, okay? So it really gives nice results, and it works for the entire animation. That's what is very powerful. When this is enabled, it will be enabled for the entire animation. When you disable use nodes, it will not appear in the render. So that's why it can be very powerful to use that. What is good as well, actually, and I didn't tell you that if I come back to the layout here, and you can see that I have my full animation made here with compositing or whatever, you could call this file maybe something like studio animated, okay? Then you remove the ring, okay? Delete hierarchy, just like that. And you could, for example, add another finished rings here, just maybe this one, who knows? Just click and drag, okay? And put it in the center. Remove the instance possibilities here, okay? Organize that here well. Just change a little the orientation, the perspective here to have something like this. And just change a little the orientation by making GZ into that one. And now you have something that is directly ready, and that you can make a render of it very easily. You just have to change the materials here and there, but actually very simple to manage that. And it will make the full animation. It will make here, I come back to the animation, it will make the full animation just like this, okay? It will make and the compositing as well, so it will give all the effects just like this. So very powerful method to keep this file, and you just have to add your own design on this. So very powerful method just like that. So that's it for this. A last thing that you could add in compositing, actually. You could create, for example, an image with your signature here, or with your logo there, okay? So you just make a PNG file that is totally transparent instead your logo here or signature, okay? And you add it here, and by doing this, actually, you will add here. Maybe I will just make that like this. Okay, yeah. You will add here a color alpha over here, okay? And you have the first image and the second image, so it will be the second end, and you have one image in the end. So in that case, you put this one here, okay? Just like this. And you put the image here by adding Shift A and image input, just an image like that, okay? And you will open your image and put it there and drag this here, okay? And in the end, it will work, and you will have your little logo that is here. It just have to be exactly the same size, so 1920 and 1080 here, okay? So I just make Ctrl Z to come back there. It can be interesting as well to add your own logo just like that. Or maybe the name of the customer or whatever. Yeah, it can be interesting and gives you more possibilities. So that's it for this video and adding some compositing effects. we did finish here the chapter 4, production of images and videos. Now I would like to show you how to prepare your files for 3D printing.